A counterpart to the question concerning the purpose and destiny of life is the question of the value of life. Here we encounter two opposing views, optimism and pessimism. From an optimistic worldview, life is worth living. Optimism will stimulate us to cooperative participation. The pessimistic view claims that life is full of misery and agony. Everywhere, pain outweighs pleasure. Sorrow outweighs joy. The pessimistic worldview thinks of ultimate reality as blind craving. It sees life as eternal striving, ceaseless craving that is forever beyond reach, dissatisfaction and suffering. The best one can do is to stifle all wishes and needs within us and exterminate the will. Pessimism can lead to complete inactivity. Its ethical goal is universal idleness. Some philosophers have tried to justify pessimism and then use it as a foundation for ethics. It tries to show that all so-called satisfaction turns out to be illusion. It is illusion to believe that we have sources of happiness and satisfaction in health, freedom, family life, in self-esteem, honor, pursuit of science and art, and hope of life after death. When looked at soberly, every enjoyment brings much more evil and misery into the world than pleasure. For the pessimist, all existence is suffering. The course of the world is a continuous struggle against pain that will finally end with the annihilation of all existence. The human being must steep himself in the knowledge that the pursuit of individual happiness, egotism, is foolish. He ought to be guided solely by the task of dedicating himself to the selfless service of world progress. This pessimistic view of life is used to convince a person to devote their activity to a lofty task. But can it really be said that this pessimistic view that the pursuit of individual happiness leads to misery and pain and therefore has no value? The fulfillment of striving causes pleasure in the striving individual. Failure causes pain. Here it is important to notice that pleasure or pain are dependent on the fulfillment or non-fulfillment of my striving. The striving itself can by no means be counted as pain. Striving is in itself pleasurable. Who does not know the pleasure of living in the hope of a distant but intensely desired goal? This pleasure is the companion of all work whose fruit will be enjoyed by us only in the future. This pleasure is entirely independent of our achieving the goal. He who cries out in the face of shattered hopes, "I have done all that I could," is living proof of this. The inspiring feeling of having tried one's best is overlooked by those who say that the enjoyment of striving is destroyed if the goal is not achieved.